Welcome to True Tall Tales, when reality is stranger than fiction. My name is Sunny Boy, and welcome to a new week of True Tall Tales, or Triple T. Welcome back, guys. Thank you for tuning in every week. It's been great. Thank you for the people writing in on YouTube and watching it on YouTube. It's been good to speak to people who are listening and watching the episodes, and thank you for the people that are listening to on Spotify and Apple. It's been fun having all the guests on, sharing their True Tall Tales. If you want to share your True Tall Tale, come on the show, please write into True Tall Tales at truetalltalespodcast@gmail.com or reach out to me on any of the socials. I love hearing people's stories. Today, I've got another True Tall Tale about mine. Now, in my group of friends, I am probably the king, and that's a big call. That's a very big ego call. I am the king of pranks, and I don't know where it came from. No one in my family is like that, but I love a good prank. Like, I love it. And I can take it. Like, if someone pranks me, I think it's the best thing ever. It's hard to prank me, but if it happens, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe you pranked me. So it's great. So I've got a big prank story, but leading up to it, how I said I'm the prank king out of my friends. Put it this way, last year, or about a year ago, one of my best mates, Georgie boy, hello if you're listening to this episode. He moved back to England, and I thought, okay. And he's one of those friends that's really hard to get a present for. So, because he kind of has everything. So I'm like, what can I get him? Something that he will remember forever. And I was like, okay, what can we do? So anyway, I ended up, I did a show ages ago on Channel 10. So there was a new show coming out on Channel 10 called Practical Jokers, that is done by these two guys that are uninspired employers. If anyone out there listens to, has TikTok or Instagram, you'd probably know them. These two Aussie guys, very funny guys, comedians. Anyway, they do this show called The Impractical Jokers, the Australian version. And basically, anyone that's seen the show, there's hidden cameras everywhere. So I said to my mate Georgie, hey, I've got a present for you. Can you be available next Friday? I basically want to bring you to a yoga retreat. So we'll do yoga. There's an ice bath. We get to have a 60-minute massage. We drink tea. You get face moisture. Like, who wouldn't want to go to that? Basically like a day spa. Like, who wouldn't? And he's like, oh my God, thank you so much. I'm like, it's brand new. It opened up in Balmain. Anyway, this isn't my True Tall Tale. I'm just giving you more depth of how I'm the king of pranks in my group of friends. So anyway, we went there. It was we started off with doing yoga, and the teacher of the yoga teacher was one of the uninspired employer guys, dressed up in disguise, and everyone in the room brought a friend that they were pranking. So I think there was like 10 of us in the room. So 5 were being pranked, 5 were in on it. Obviously, I was in on it. Anyway, cut the story short, which never happens to me, anyone that listens to this podcast. My famous line. We got in there, and they just, it was yoga. Anyone that's done yoga before, but the yoga teacher was like getting us to bend over, doing doggy, but going, now I want everyone to open up their bum holes and suck air in and fart out and release. Like that. And I know, such a male, I find that shit so funny. And my mate George was looking at me like, oh my God, this guy's so weird, but also like laughing, because if you don't know you're being pranked, you wouldn't think there's hidden cameras and stuff. That's the thing. When people watch these shows, like, oh, how did they not know? How did they not? Well, you wouldn't think that. You wouldn't think any shopping center or shop you went to or some bar that you're being pranked with hidden cameras, because it's just so real the way that it's done. And I'm such a good prankster with my friends. So they have no idea. And it made sense. I'm taking him out for his going away present because he's moving back to England. Anyway, that's not the story I'm telling you, but that's to the extent of the extremeness I go with my prank. So the True Tall Tale of the prank that I wanted to share with you guys starts off with this. So it was many, many years ago. I would have been in my early 20s, and that's when I was working at Coca-Cola. I think that was on our previous episodes on this podcast. And I had 2 mates from Canada that are Canadian, as they say, buddies, which I think is a really funny word. And I've been to Canada before, and I said, look, what about you to come over to Australia and you experience it here and come here for a year, because it's so far. And I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they have never seen the ocean before, because they live in the middle of Canada. I think it's like Saskatchewan, Saskatchewan. And, Canada has these beautiful lakes and stuff, but the ocean's so far away. So at that time, because they were young as well, I'm pretty sure they've never seen the ocean or been to the beach before. So what a better way to live in Bondi Beach for a year, because that's where I was living. So I got them organized. I know what it's like to go to another country, used all my contacts, and I got them a place to live in. I mean, they had to share a room, but anyone that's living in Bondi, it's very expensive. But that's fine. You know what I mean? You just sleep. You're just sleeping there, right? I got them a job through one of my mates, Denny. So they'll set up. They know me. They know my friends. I got them a job lined up to work into to have an income, and I had a place, so they didn't even have to apply for a place rent. You couldn't even ask for a better way to come to another country, and I was so excited for them to come. Anyway, cut the story short. They came over. They loved it. We're going to Bondi Beach. They live in the Australian dream. And when they first got in the first week, obviously, you know, you're buying your groceries and stuff for your house that you're living in and stuff. And it's so exciting when you go to another country because the supermarkets are different. They have different food you've never seen, different drinks. And it's just fun. It's kind of like a board game, but like in real life. You're like, ooh, what's this? I'll buy this. This looks interesting. Anyway, they were petrified, both of them. Ted and Andrew is their name. Hello, guys. I don't think they listen to this podcast or know that I do this podcast, but maybe I'll send this episode to them. And they were like, bro, we're like really scared of spiders. And I don't blame them. I'm Australian, so I know that Australia has the most deadliest snakes, sharks, spiders, animals, creatures in the world. So I think we just get used to it being Aussies. But if you're coming over here in your early 20s, I think they were just like scared. So the biggest thing for Ted and Andrew was like spiders. They were just like, hell no, no way. I don't want any spiders. And as anyone that has been to Australia before in Sydney, we have this Australian spider called the huntsman, and it's as big as my hand. Literally, it's that big, and it's so thick. Like its legs are so thick that it doesn't even look like they're spider legs. They can break. It looks like it's got cartilage in it. Like it's just so thick, and the spider is so furry that it's like if you see it up close, it's literally like cat fur or like dog fur. Like that's how hairy the spider is, and the spider kind of shouldn't look like that. Anyway, so people get scared of those spiders all the time. The good thing is they're not, even though we have the most venomous spiders in the world, that spider cannot kill you and they don't really bite you. And if they did, you wouldn't die and go to hospital. Huntsmen are great because they eat all the spiders and bugs in your house. And in Australia, we don't have fly screens for some reason. And all the bugs are in your house and stuff. And these huntsman spiders, by the way, something I learned about huntsmen, they come in two. So if you see one in your kitchen, there's another one. They come in pairs. You see one in your room, there's another one. I'm not even joking. And so they just look like the scariest thing ever. That's big as your face. And I can understand why people would be scared of them. So they've obviously witnessed one of these spiders and they're freaking out. But not only were they scared of spiders, they were also scared of cockroaches, which I didn't realize a lot of places, well, England and stuff, I guess cold countries don't have them. But cockroaches don't scare me. And in Australia, if you see a cockroach in someone's house, they're like, ew, dirty. It's not dirty, man. There's cockroaches everywhere. Like, I'd rather cockroaches over rats and mice, put it that way. So anyway, I remember going over to their place and visiting them, and I walked into their room and I was like, I was like, oh yeah, check out the house. They were living with one of my mates who was a DJ at the time. So they had a pretty good setup. And I walked into the room and something got stuck on my foot, and it was kind of like double-sided tape, if that makes sense. And it was on the bottom of my foot. And I was like, bro, why does this thing keep sticking to my feet? What is this stuff you got outside the door? They're like, dude, you're wrecking it. You're wrecking it. We went to the shops today and bought this. I'm like, what is this? Like, what is this? And I don't know, I'm Australian, right? I've never seen this in a shop in my life. I didn't even know it was a thing. But they've bought this double-sided tape. I forget what it was called. And you put it outside your door, I guess, your room that you sleep in. And so they told me, they're like, no, the person that sold it to us is if spiders and cockroaches are trying to come into our room to get us, they walk in and then they hit that double-sided sticky tape and it's really sticky and it kills, they stick to it and they can't move, so they can't get in our room. And when we wake up in the morning, we'll have all these dead cockroaches and spiders. And I was like, where did you buy this? I think you guys got gypped, man. Like, this is someone taking your money. Like, I don't even know this is a real thing. And they're like, no, it is. And I know what they mean. Like, now they have stuff where, you know, you have the strips for cockroaches and stuff. And then if they walk on that, they, you know, carry the toxic poisonous stuff and go back to their family with their eggs. And then they all eat it and then they all die. And that's how you get rid of like nesting cockroaches. It wasn't that. I know what that looks like. This was literally double-sided tape that you pull outside your door, and they thought that cockroaches and spiders would walk on it and get stuck to it. Like, it didn't even have poisonous to kill them and stuff. And I was like, this is a waste of money. You need to get rid of this. And I said, what if they step over it? And I said, and the spiders and cockroaches, they're already in the room. I said, they come through the cracks and everything. They're coming through your windows. And the funniest thing is they're like, bro, what's with Australia, especially Bondi? They're like, how come nobody has fly screens? You have more bugs than anyone. It's so hot in this country. You got to have the windows open and you don't have fly screens? And I was like, never thought about that before. That's a really, really good question. And most places in Sydney and stuff, no one really has fly screens. I'm like, they're expensive, but they're also like ugly, right? Like you don't really, I don't know. I couldn't answer them, but I said Aussies like the fresh air. We open the windows, let the sea breeze in. Like we don't need the fly screens. Like you're fine. I mean, it would help because when the bugs come in, but they were just so God-smacked by that of like why we don't have fly screens. Anyway. So this is where the prank starts for me being pranky. So I was working at Coca-Cola at the time. So I've just learned about how scared they are of spiders and all these things. And I knew their timetable because I got them a job. So I knew what time they had to start. And they're working in hospos. So they didn't have to start till like 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So we would be partying at nights. And then I know they'd be sleeping all day and waking up at 2 p.m. and going to the beach. Like living the dream. And anyway, I got them set up with like mobile phones, and it was Vodafone at the time. I remember it very specifically. And I was like, okay, let's get you a mobile phone, prepaid mobile. So you have an Australia, well, they had their mobiles, but you'll get the SIM card and you'll have like Australian numbers. And they're like, okay. So I had their numbers and I knew that I helped them set up those phones the day before. So I went to work. I knew they were asleep. This is so bad. I'm so evil. And I sent them a text. And at my work at the time at Coca-Cola, you could send a business text message that would come out. So it wouldn't come from a mobile number. So I could change it. So if I sent someone a text, it would say Coca-Cola. So it's official. But I learned at work that if I deleted where it said Coca-Cola and I wrote something else in, say my name, sonny-joe, it would come up sonny-joe and it wouldn't be a mobile number. So it was like very official. So God, I was so naughty at work. Me being at work, not doing my work, I sent them both a text message from Coca-Cola, but changed the name to Vodafone because I knew they signed up to that SIM card. And I said, I forget specifically what it said, but at the top of my head, I said, dear Vodafone users, category 5, stay inside. There's been crocodile sightings, and they lived in Bondi Junction. They lived at the time in the Bondi area, coming out of the storm drains. I don't even know if we have storm drains in Bondi. So that's what the message said. Dear Vodafone users, please stay inside. It's category 5. Crocodiles are coming out of the storm drains. Please wait for another text message for this to be cleared. Danger, something. I was with some girl at work and like, let me help you write this. Anyway, as soon as I sent that text message, within 45 seconds, my mobile called. God, that made me excited. I was just like, oh, it's them. And like this girl at my work's like, no way. And I'm like, thank God I've studied acting. And I'm like, hello, Sonny speaking. And they're like, Sonny, dude, bro, like, what the fuck? We just got a text message from the Australian, like, the Vodafone, the government. I'm like, calm down. What's going on? My friends are at work in the background. And they're like, dude, we just got a text message, category 5. I'm like, okay, yeah, based on what? And they're like, they said there's like crocodiles in the area coming out of the drains in the Bondi Junction, Bondi area. Like, what do we do? I was like, right, don't go outside. That just means that it's been raining the other week and sometimes the storm drains come up and the crocodiles will come up and come out. They don't want people going on the streets because it's very dangerous, and they just want it to be everyone in the clear. Said stay indoors, close the windows. They're like, they can come through the windows. I'm like, bro, it's a crocodile. They can do anything. So they're anyway, I said all this like, right, and I said, just stay there till you get another text message. Anyway, they also lived with my mate's mate who was a DJ in Sydney at the time, and so they're now up, closing all the windows, locking the door, freaking the fuck out, like freaking out. Tom, that was his name, Tom the DJ. And they went into Tom's room and they're like, Tom. He's like, yeah, what's going on? They're like, dude, we need to close your window. It's category 5. He's like, what? What are you talking about? And Tom's like, always late, like big DJs say he was just always like tired, like, oh, get out of my room. And he's like, bro, it's category 5, Vodafone to the government, just send us a text message, like the crocodiles are coming out of the drains. And he's like, what the fuck are you two? He's actually English, Tom. He's like, what are you two going on about? And he's like, dude, we just got the message from Vodafone saying that the crocodiles are coming on the stormwater drains. We just spoke to Sonny at work and he said to stay inside and lock the windows and the door. And then Tom apparently is cracked up laughing and said, you two are idiot wankers. Get out of my room now. Sonny's taking the piss. So these two then call me back and they're like, dude, is this a joke? Tell us the truth. And I said, yeah. And they're like, bro, you should not do that to us. We've never. And anyway, I didn't realize how scared they were, but is that not the best prank in the world? Like, but one thing I've just got to realize, that prank is so good. It's probably the best prank I've ever done to any of my friends. Please write in. I want to hear your feedback of what you think of that prank. But it worked. It worked so well, doing it from the work phone with the text messages, setting up from Vodafone. Like, I mean, to be fair, if I was in America or Canada and I got that text message about saying bears in the area and bears coming around, I would get the fuck out of there as well. And I don't know what would be more scarier, a bear outside of your house or a crocodile. I'd probably say a bear, because a bear can like go open your bins, because bears have got hands, right? Well, they don't have hands, but they've got like paws and stuff. So, and a bear could just go to your front door and like bash it down and stuff. So yeah, a bear's definitely scarier, but a crocodile, I guess, is just scary because it's just like a big giant dinosaur, I guess. They're both scary in their own way. Anyway, I got them really, really good. I got my prank, but I realized that like not everyone likes pranks, and it's a little bit evil, and it's only for my satisfaction and not theirs. So I'm not as bad as I used to be of how I used to prank my friends and people, because it's only for my enjoyment and no one else's. Like, this other person's getting hurt on the other side. I mean, I could still do pranks on people, but I just gotta I think you got to be very wary of who can they take it. I've gotten used to, I'm very aware now of my surroundings, and I don't want to hurt people's feelings. So anyway, I didn't hurt their feelings. They thought it was hilarious. It was a good one. I think they told all their friends and family back in Canada, but I just remembered that recently, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot so much about that story. I really need to share this on my podcast on True Tall Tales. Anyway, if you've pranked someone and you've got a hectic prank story or something like that, please write into truetalltalespodcast@gmail.com or reach out to any of the socials. I'd love to have you on the show. As you see, I've had a lot of guests on the show, and I'll interview you and you can tell your story. If you're too shy, and that's okay, I get it. Some people are shy. I'm a bit of an extrovert, a bit. You can even write in your story, and I will share the story to my listeners of how I'm telling you now. Because yeah, I love a good story. I love a good prank, and I'd love to hear your prank. But that's all for today, for this week, guys and ladies. Thank you so much for tuning in, listening, watching on YouTube. Please, if you like this episode or any of the episodes, send them to your friends. Get them to listen. Get them to watch on YouTube. The more you share, the more it helps. And let's make this grow. Let's grow this podcast. It's still early days. I've only had this for 3 months, and I'm enjoying it and enjoy doing it for you. And it's been good. It's a good creative outlet. And like I said, everyone has their story and their own path. But a new thing that I've got now, because the world's just so hectic at the moment, as you know, with like war, starvation, inflation, America with their their politics of their presidents at the moment. It's just a lot going on. Storms, rain, tornadoes, global warming. It's crazy times right now. So at the end of every episode, I just want to say a nice quote, just to put some more positive in the world, because anyone that's met me, I'm a very positive guy, and I'd rather go through life being positive than negative. And I know that sounds really cliche, but there's nothing. It's easier to be happy than it is to be angry, and that's true. And it's angry. It's hard work. You're just like, what are you going on about? And it hurts your bones, and it changes your face. But when you're happy, it's just relax. It's nice. Like, what's going on? Anyway, so like I said, at the end of every episode, I say a nice quote that I like. This one is from Mr. Wonderful that I really, really enjoy, which is so true. A salary is the drug they give you to forget your dreams. So that is a really, really good quote that I love, and it's so true. So follow your dreams, and we got one chance at life. Do what you want to do, and I know it's scary and I know it's hard, but just get out there and do it. It's such a great feeling. Yeah, so that's so true. A salary is a drug they give you to forget your dreams. So remember that. My name is Sonny Boy. You're listening to Triple T. I will speak to you soon. Adios, amigos. Bye.